Gold Coast Suns under the pump for much of that opening term. They lead by 26 points. 3 of their goals coming courtesy of that man, Michael Frederick. He's got a career best of 4. He's already got 3 at quarter time, Will Schofield.
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael Frederick, he was best on ground that Hawthorn game a few weeks ago. We saw him here, but the way he started, I think he's sort of challenging what he's able to do there. His work rate at ground level has been impressive, and I think that for the entire Freo side. I know we had a little bit of vision to show on what he's been able to do, and when we see it, it's pretty sunny when we're watching this, but the weather's changed. But the way Fremantle have worked the game and the way that they're doing it is... Frederick, look at him, he works and he runs. He was the one to start there on the wing, and he works all the way over the other side of the ground, and he gets on the end of it. That's what he's doing, and that's what this Freo side is doing. It's the highest pressure quarter they've had this season, and it is the second highest since 2020, 221 pressure factor. That is significant for the Freo Dockers.
Zero complacency in this side that has won their last 13 games. Jared Healy, Nick Del Santo.
Well, it's all about speed to me. It's doing the missing element for them if they're going to be the premiership contender, which they clearly are now. But the Geelong game, they went through the roof as far as speed is concerned. And again today, it looks like they have had a good think about it across the bye. And the footy we've seen since in the last 5 quarters has been electric. 200 metres gained, mainly forward handballs. 5 metres gained for the Gold Coast, whose handball essentially has been under the pump the whole time.
Second quarter underway at Optus Stadium. Fremantle and Gold Coast, and Luke Jackson again after the ruck work turns midfielder, got it to Sarong. High ball, Switkowski was there, spills out the back. Noble will recover first. It was a tough one. And Saul wrapped up, and again Josh Tracy with a big tackle.
Geez, he's a good leader, Del. Josh Tracy. He's transformed this team.
Yeah, when you see your key forwards doing the grunt work as well, it just ripples through the whole team.
Jackson going again. Lombard came up with it, smothered by Warner. Rao held and hindered by Brayshaw.
It's their 27th tackle. Just their willingness to get after the opposition, the pressure they're applying.
Free have won 4 of their last 6 against the Suns, but it was, of course, Gold Coast in that elimination final last year that got the win over here. Lasso free kick. Going the way of Fremantle, taken by Brendan Cox.
Well, they've been ambushed, but still 3 long quarters to go for the Suns to make them up.
Yep, the third goalless quarter for the season as Tracy comes out hard, slips through his fingers. Bolton to Jackson, working in tight confines. How was that for Reid? Over to Bolton. He has a bounce. He wants to open up the angle and then doesn't quite strike that cleanly. Still a chance here in the spoil. Over the line from Hewland. That's Bodie Hewland.
Working in a shoebox, but their ability just to move the football from where they were to where they are now, just to get some field position, basically out of nothing. So 12 opportunities in the first quarter for the Gold Coast Suns to go from their defensive 50 to inside 50. They haven't got it there once. Just highlights the pressure on the front half game of the Dockers and the way that they're set up behind the football.
2 points. Their lowest scoring quarter of the season. Need to get going here. Hewland, Zeke, to the turf.
They are bullying.
Bodie, aren't they?
Giving a few free kicks away, but I'm sure as Jordan Lewis and Hodgie and that gang would tell you, a little few free kicks is a small price to pay to it for intimidation.
Up towards the ruck, Walter with the sit. Here comes Petrarca, exploding on the outer wing and then chipping the ball beautifully to Long. Coming off his best game of the season last week where he booted those 4 goals. Can he find a target inside 50? King gets there just in time, slides in. And a big set shot coming up here, Jared.
Well, it's been a long time coming, but that's exactly what Damien Hardwick will be looking for, led by Petrarca off the half-back line. Hit the target. It was a great kick. And it set up King on the lead. Missed his first one, but he's had great form all year.
A desperately needed goal for the visitors. Just to let out a big, deep breath. And they do that through the Coleman leader. First goal coming in the early stages of this second term.
And clearly their best passage of play. And without Petrarca's crumb on the far side, His great change of direction just to come back inside. So you see the work of the forwards. Ben King's doing his work right now. He's got all the work. He's waiting for Brendan Cox to swivel his head. And it's just through work rate and good execution. Great kick by Ben Long to put it out in front of the Coleman medalist leader. It does need more moments of brilliance like this from a truck, just to move the ball from their defensive half into the front half to have a good shot at goal.
We're going to find out a bit about the Suns over the next 3 quarters. Right under the microscope.
Looks like they've dropped the Nick Coleman role, boys. They've got the superstars back in there, the Gold Coast Suns.
Rao, Petrarca, Anderson and Witts, but it's Jackson who got it down to Sarong, combined with Brayshaw and Bolton. It's the Dockers midfield that won that battle. It's a tantalising matchup for the afternoon as Clark sends it tumbling inside 50. Tracy off hands. Well done, Andrew. Back in again. Spills out the back. Dudley waiting to pounce. Outside of the boot, goes across the face. Johnson juggled it out of behind.
Well, Dudley suggested it was a pass the whole way through, but it was dropped on the line.
Might have just hit the belly of the ball.
What about that mop-up in the wet conditions? Lovely. He's Noble. Hasn't got his partner in crime off half-back out there in Rioli. Had surgery on a broken jaw during the week. Jeffrey needs to get to Andrew. Oh, how good was that from Tracy? The 1%ers, O'Driscoll out wide. Murphy zigs, zags, turns around, could go from home. Unselfishly, Dudley drops it in the end, follows up with a brilliant tackle. Anderson just has to hack it out of there. It's going to come back in quickly through Clark. And here's a chance for Reid. Breaks the tackle of Jeffrey. Pirouetting, spinning, dancing, darting, trying to get to Dudley again. He might finish off his own work here, the teenage superstar. Gives it to Sarong. Back to Brayshaw. Standing start from 50. Lombard leapt. And then Lombard at ground level to Noble. Ran into a brick wall. Switkowski. It's a hot footy in there for the Suns right now.
What about Murphy Reid, Jared? Just his ability to step and find targets. He went to Dudley twice. It might be his last option.
The first kick to Dudley was incredible.
It was.
His computer program is far more intelligent than most out on the ground. They all need an upgrade.
There's the AI version.
Yep.
You can do it all faster than most as the ball goes away. Collins almost tackled high.
Yep.
Spills out, but it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Murphy Reid up to 13 disposals. 7 of those coming through kicks at 86%, so he doesn't waste it when he gets it.
Great crowd in. Sunday afternoon, blue skies ahead now after that rain shower. Witts with a hit out.
Dal, I haven't seen a great deal of respect being shown to Murphy Reid. He's had 13, as you said. He's been doing this all year.
Jackson hit it to himself. Lombard got a hand to it. Spills to Clark. Couldn't connect with a teammate. Walter getting involved. Lombard run down again. The pressure from Fremantle immense. As Rao got creative, and that'll be a mark. He volleyed it forward to Miller. Now the Suns can run. Walter, Miller, up towards King, and another free kick. And they've isolated Ben King a couple of times now, and he's got a chance to go back for his second.
Well, I thought he had an opportunity perhaps to come back up at the footy. And he was trying to find the backspace. It just seemed just top of screen. I thought there was a chance to come at the leg of the kicker. He put Cox under enough pressure to put the arm around. He didn't complain, the defender. So when that happens, it's often there. Just a good patch here by the Gold Coast Suns, just finding a way to get themselves back into this game.
Fremantle with 4 goals in the opening term. Suns getting one in this quarter through Ben King. He's trying to get it to work back. It's tight into the post. He's heading in that direction pretty much right when it left the shoelaces.
Now an opportunity for the Suns to keep it in their front half. Just gives the defenders a little bit of a breath. Just control the game through field position.
2-time All-Australian Ryan brings it back into play. 4 or 5 All-Australians this year, you'd think. Fremantle. Noble. Saw the pressure coming again. It's Tracy in there with the 1%ers and the hustle. Flicks out the back. Johnson. Sarong. A tumbler, Andrew. Right place, right time.
Move it on, play on.
He's going to retreat
On the O.
back to Hewland. This is Zeke. His first year of footy.
Not much movement in front of him.
You.
Keeps it wide. Spots Lombard.
Been good Lombard. This is disposal number 11. He's been lively, one of the few.
Oh, that kick though lets him down a little bit. Puts Wits under the pump, gives it to Petrarca. Quick snap. And missing.
Yeah, quick handball. Really clever.
Petrarca just trying to lift. It's a real grind out there. Pressure building for the Gold Coast Suns.
So he's looking a little more threatening in this second term. On kick out, Tracy and Andrew, Jackson and Witts. No whistle as Switkowski just hacks it forward. Amos was on his heels and Collins was able to come up to meet it. Andrew Anderson. Way back for Ballard. Andrew. Wide for Jeffrey. No, he dropped the mark and invites the pressure. Dudley harassing, pushed him off the footy. Now the numbers are there for Fremantle. O'Driscoll to Bolton, wanting the right option. He chipped it in. Andrew did well. Looked it down. Hadn't saw Anderson. Just went a spiral back through the middle. Clark a big fist away. Switkowski was waiting to accept. O'Driscoll on his left boot. Tumbling ball. Andrew, footy following him around. And now he's hatching it on top. He fell forward. It'll be a baller.
Great defensive spoil there, Scully, from Clark.
Yeah, it was, but I was just watching Isaiah Dudley, the smallest man on the ground. He's the most targeted player in this quarter.
We'll be following him around too. Jackson got it out. Switkowski in tight, lost it. Zeke Hewland able to escape. Anderson sat on his backside by Tracy. He got the handball away. And pressure again from Fremantle.
Been fantastic pressure. Suns stepping up though. So it's been a much better quarter.
Boyle tried to get it straight down to Rao. Now comes out to Jepson. Unkind bounce for Long. He was taken high. It'll come back to him. Almost a 50. O'Driscoll realised at the last moment.
Get a bit anxious when you hear the umpire call it 3 or 4 times, Cal.
Anderson, the skipper, looking to build something here. Bodie Hewland. Wide. Jepson. So he's just in his 4th AFL game. And he steadies it. Back to Bodie Hewland. And a brilliant season down back. He rockets it into the pocket. Cox with the big knuckle. And he kills that over the boundary line.
That's a spoil.
Yes. Didn't even go for the mark, Scully. He was just happy just to do the dour defence. Pumped it 30 metres out. They get to reset.
Shallow throw.
Was allowed Jackson to get to the front. So still a chance. Jepson's handball too hot for his teammates. Switkowski, Sarong. Up the wing. Amos. Lays it right a long way up the ground, so he just has to wait.
Play on, play on.
Has to go wide. Isn't the 15 for Young. No one was marking him, so he had time to go to Brayshaw. Now Frederick continuing to float forward. Crowd urging him to go. Voss is on the lead into the pocket and punched away well by Ballard.
Good defence by Ballard. He gave Voss the boundary, so I knew he could close it down.
Johnny Ballard at this ground last year. Unfortunately suffered that knee injury in round 1. Working his way back this season and going to be such a vital part of this Suns' defence. Well front spot. Jackson to ground. Rowell tackled by Brayshaw. Suns under the pump. Can clear it through Ballard. Chipping it wide. Switkowski working hard. Zeke Hewland there too. Switkowski too strong. Great use of the body and strength to get the footy, but the kick didn't have anything on it. Bodie Hewland. Anderson. The kick in hope to clear the area off the hands of McVee. Freo had them waiting at the spill. Thrown forward by Clark. And the Suns want to take it quickly. Miller. Extra number with Fremantle. Brendan Coxwell positioned. Ball knocked out of the front. Johnson. He got the hands clear. McVee in the fingertips. runs out of room.
Dead. Sean.
Freo's had 37 tackles at this point of the game, just to highlight the density around the ball. Gold Coast Suns already up to 25, so it's been a hot game in the contest.
If you're just joining us on Fox Footy, it was Fremantle with the first 4 goals of this contest. The first 3 off the boot of Michael Frederick. They led by 26 at quarter time. And the Suns with the one and only goal in this second term. So the margin currently 19 points. Frederick with 3 to his name. His PB is 4.
They started, as we know, with the tag on Sarong. They dropped it at quarter time. He's had 5. He's had a couple of tackles.
Moyle and Darcy. Darcy over the shoulder. Hewland, Zeke. Bangs it inside 50. Slapped down by Ryan. Chapman was taken high. Wins the free, and Ben Long doesn't like the call. The frustration's just bubbling here for the visitors.
Well, they should be a little bit frustrated. They're starting to win the stoppage game. So it's 17-9 in favour of the Suns, yet it's just 1 goal apiece from those clearances. So they feel like they're getting a little bit of control, but not getting any reward for it at the moment. That's the frustration with Ben Long and a few other of the key forwards.
Patient on the build-up here after it was a blistering, a scorching start from the home side. Warner already involved in this passage of play. Up to Erasmus. Murphy Reed's had the most touches with 14. He's been brilliant. Bolton's had 12. Centering kick. And Johnson. He's slow and steady. Back to Cox. Flicks it wider still to Ryan. Suns defenders just happy to hang off. Not a lot of movement forward. So Ryan's just going to bang it into the pocket. Darcy's there. Spoil from Andrew. Here goes Dudley. Can't keep it in play.
That's a very different game in this quarter. We're much slower, been forced to work a lot harder for their ball. They're not getting the handball change and the speed of ball. Still haven't kicked a goal in this term.
Darcy against Moyle. Knocked it down to the front. Driscoll was there. Ballard swallowed in a big tackle by Voss.
Bit of a watch on Matty Rao. He's played more percentage of this game already as a forward. And he has an inside mid. I know it's breezy out there, but this is the Brownlow medalist conditions.
Ullman, Howe, find it initially, went back to get it. Andrew, good handle to the advantage of Zeke Hewland. Work along the wing. Humphrey, handball forward. Pearce had the reach to knock it down. Harassed by Long. Humphrey went back in. Clark jumped onto him and wins a free for holding the ball.
Well, they're clearly not happy with that midfield mix, are they, Dal? That's why they've pushed Rowell out of there. Nick Holman's the one.
Overlap run from Clark. He's looking with a long kick into the pocket. Set up for Amos. Collins did enough. Frederick trying to lay the tackle. Bodie Hewland did well to stand up to it. Jepson out to half back. Numbers favour Fremantle though. They've got the wall set up. It's going to go back in. Warner into the pocket. Darcy and Moyle. Andrew put it back to Collins. Absorbing some pressure here, the Suns. King roams up the ground to try and help out and sees it over and out for a boundary throw.
Doing really well defensively, the Gold Coast Suns. Freo's been inside forward 50 26 times, so they're defending a lot of football. They actually held up relatively well, but they would love some ball at the other end of the ground just to take a breath, get some of these rotations flicking around as well.
1 goal 2 for King so far. Moyle in the ruck over Petrarca. Holman with a dinky little kick. Only as far as Johnson. And now Warner. Penetrating kick. Inside 50. Up towards Tracy and Andrew. Andrew slaps it down. Powell could have got rid of it. Tried to go through.
Spot on, Kelly's very lucky, pal.
Very lucky. Benefit of the doubt, I think, Jared.
Yep.
Darcy out towards Dudley. He'll go again. He's been busy. Holman making sure he's going nowhere, and Noble. 1 point for the Dockers in this second term to the 1 goal 2 for the Suns. Rao. Tackle was good from Erasmus. Working his way through traffic was the Youngster in Murray. And he comes out towards Newland, and Frederick flicks it over and makes sure that it's a 50-50 ball.
Well, they're much more competitive, the Suns. They can't really do much on the scoreboard at the present time. Had a couple of opportunities and fluffed them, as have Freo. And this should have taken that last mark in his opportunity. Could have kicked a few already tonight.
And an arm wrestle in this second term. Petrarca trying to get busy at stoppage. Clark bouncing off. Driscoll in there. Hansel did well to get it back to Anderson. Good aim of the handball. And a driving one up towards Witts. Pearce front position. Witts brought it to ground. Spills past a couple. Clark, good handball on the up. Reed, clever kick. And he can just find his way through any sort of traffic. Now Tracy hits it a half forward. Fremantle trying to change the angles and open it up. Tracy's going to go long towards Voss. Test of strength. Ballard did well.
There's a brilliant kick from Young. Just showed what a weapon he possesses. Open it up. Pony chair. Just desperate for a free kick. Let's have another look.
Free kick there, Gene.
Looked like it to me.
So the Suns work their way up to the wing. Powell takes all the time he has. It's knocked away back towards Powell and Frederick. 9 pounds Freddie. He was off. He was off.
I think Powell was happy as anybody in Australia.
Yes, he was on his skates. I was in trouble.
What a great first quarter this man had. 3 goals. Trying to equal a career best 4. Cheer him home, Cal.
So spinning ball back into play. The rucks wrestle. Anderson throws it on the boot. Foot race. Who will get there first? Chapman and Walter. Chapman does well. Gets rid of Walter. Runs into Holman. And he's gone. Tried to do a little bit too much under the pressure. It'll be a free kick for Holman. To the skipper he goes. Can Anderson set something up here? They conceded the first 4. And they get back to back in this second term. Back to Collins playing his 150th for the Gold Coast Suns today. Of course, started his career at the Dockers in purple.
Well, Del, they're stabilised, but they've got to get goals on the board.
Andrew.
Dockers have got numbers back here. That's why they're trying to go slow and trying to find an uncontested mark before they go long.
There's McDo. He just bangs it as long as he possibly can. Pearce is there in the front. Knocked down. Walton's kicked it over his head. And he's missed. It was all or nothing, and it came up nothing for Jed Walter. And now the Dockers with possession.
Clark for Chapman. He can get it running forward. Murphy Reid, I suppose, is number 16 in this first half. And he'll get number 17 as he continues to work hard away from Petrarca and sending it inside 50 for Voss. There's the ball movement Freo been searching for in this second term.
Yeah, it's just staggering the amount of football that this young man gets as a high half forward. One of the most difficult positions on the ground. Quite often starvation corner. He just cruises around. He just makes brilliant decisions.
Sam Collins, he was coming, but he didn't let go quick enough. And he ended up just running up onto the mark rather than being there for the spoil.
If you read 13th in the comp for score involvements, they love the footy in his hands going forward. And they've got it to Patrick Voss, who cannot finish an ugly set shot. Young and Amos are down there. Plenty of Suns at the spill. Murray, with composure, took his time. Try and find a target. Didn't have too many options. Walter has to work hard. McVee, well, he handled it to keep it in play because he knew he had support. Free kick goes the Dockers' way.
The umpire suggested, was it a kicking action?
I need to check that one again.
Yeah.
Was it because Adamsall came in and slide?
Yeah.
With the big slide?
I don't know if you get done for an action, though.
For an attempt rather than actually making contact as McVee, Brayshaw, McVee, Erasmus, Murphy Reid over the top. Under pressure from Holman. Brought him to ground well, holding the ball. He doesn't get caught too often.
Now the Suns coming punish them on the turnover. They can't maintain possession. Bolton spun around in a 360, gets their hands free to Dudley, to Erasmus for the finish. No, it's a miss.
Well, it was great defence by Luke Ryan. He just came off his man and he went early enough, took the punt, and should have been a goal because of it.
Noble with a couple of bounces along the boundary line. Brilliant smother by Young.
Well, to think that it's only a 20-point margin with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play in this second quarter. Something yet to fire a shot. I think Damien Harwood could be sitting in the box thinking, we've got so much growth, so much improvement here. It's just over 3 goals to margin. I think they'll be going into half-time pleasantly surprised that they're still within reach.
Real tug of war in this second term. Just 1 goal. It's tight, tough football. Certainly not free-flowing and open just yet. Miller heard the voice, handball to Long. Long tried the handball, missed the Sharon. Now it's a 50-50 ball. In dispute. Good handball along the line from Young. He centres it straight to Jeffrey.
He just went for a little bit too much there, Hayden Young. Brilliant pick-up.
Jeffrey to Holman. Started this game in the midfield. And then just pokes it to Anderson. Again, it's slow and steady, Jared.
Slow and boring at this stage. If you're a forward, you want the ball in there.
Here goes King. He's coming from a long way back. He won't get there in time. Humphrey to Holman. And it's picked off by O'Driscoll. Young, good smother by Jeffrey. Goes again, tackled by O'Driscoll. And Jeffrey a little sore. That tackle slipped high late, but the umpire says it was all clear and it'll be a ball up.
Slapped on by Jackson. And diving on top of it. Rowell, get up back to Jeffrey. Suns to the 50. Chapman dropped the mark. And want the boundary. Lombard harassing him out of it. Rio, what do we get back? Warner. Reed, Bolton. Touched on the way through. Zeke Ewan trying to claim a mark almost. Certainly touched. Witts. Bodie Ewans. Jeffrey. Back for Anderson. He's got numbers in the middle. It's a dangerous kick. Erasmus read it well. Knocked it down. Collins there to help the Suns. They might break for them. Murray slipped the tackle. Turned nicely. Delivers for Rowell, but Chapman won it back. Handball over the top. Crucial intercept. Erasmus. Amos went the handball, not the kick. Collins knocked it down. They're still working forward. Erasmus, Darcy, and the Suns hold firm, and they'll escape with a footy.
That was first-class butchering by the Dockers. They had 4 opportunities to go to goal, and they just bluffed it, muffed it.
Humphrey had the arm chopped by Warner.
He's the guy in the second half that can have a bigger impact. Just the one disposal. It's been a handball, so he's coming up for his first kick of the day. He's a far better player than that.
What's been excellent about the Dockers this quarter, their defence just coming up the ground, just leaving their men coming up to spoil.
Humphrey to the pack. King caught one high. Chapman tackled. Holman got him. Spills the way of Ryan. High kick. Misses them all. Time running out here. And it is half-time in a real slugfest in the West. We had a rain shower in that opening term. And the margin will be 20 points. The Dockers will lead at the main break. 4-7-31 to the Suns, 1-5-11. The Dockers with 1 goalless quarter this season. It was in the last quarter against the Cats. All the way back in round 1 of the season. So no goals to the left of screen as yet. The Suns were goalless in the opening term, and we've gone the Dockers goalless in the second term. Let's get down to Kath Lockman.
Thanks. I've got Andrew Brayshaw alongside me. So fast Freo start, but felt quite a different game in that second quarter. What's your read on the match?
We've had it in our front half a lot. Just haven't been able to finish off. Low scoring game. Is pretty slippery out here, pretty wet, but I think if we can keep it in our front half looking the way we want it, we should eventually start hitting the scoreboard a little bit more, and we know they're going to come out in the second half and get really aggressive. They're a really good side, so no, we'll be expecting that.
And the midfield battle, particularly around the ground stoppages, what's your read on what's happening there? Gold Coast getting a bit on top there.
Yeah, Rowell getting inside, Anderson on the outside. They're flicking it out a little bit, working us pushing us in a little bit. But no, we'll have a look at a few stoppages and try and get back on top.
Thanks, Andy. I'll let you go.
Thank you.
Over to you, Will.
Yeah, thanks, Kath. Here with Noah. Mate, bit of a different look in the midfield. You've had Nick Holman running through there. What's the mindset with that?
We're just trying to win good contests in there. It feels like it's let us down at parts last few weeks. So it feels like it's been good. It feels like, especially that second quarter, we're really positive. So I thought the process has been pretty good.
You're plus 13 at clearance. How does it feeling in it?
Yeah, it feels good. Feels like we've all got our roles and executing a plan. So obviously they're a good side, so they'll come out and challenge us. So we'll have to adapt and go with it.
Get back in with the boys. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
So the Dockers trying to make it 14 straight, led by 26 at quarter time, and that lead is now 20 at half time. Just a reminder, tomorrow night, Lee Montagna joins Jared at the desk at his coach's night with Sam Mitchell and Chris Fagan. And then after that, of course, it is the guys on the couch with Jack, Geordie, Brownie and Bucks.
All right, there we go. It is half-time here at Optus Stadium in Perth. And, of course, the Dockers 4-7-31. The Gold Coast Suns 1-5-11. That's the Dockers by 20 points here at half-time in a low-scoring affair. Tell you what, it's turning out to be a little bit of an arm wrestle there, Albert. I tell you what, it did look like the Dockers were, well, they were dominating. They were in control of the game, but look, they just struggled going forward, getting it inside their forward 50 to a target. That's sort of been the problem. And, of course, look, both defences have been holding up pretty well in this game so far. But as you heard Andy Brayshaw say, they just keep on doing what they're doing and the scores should come to them. I think they definitely look like they've got a fair bit more scoring power down forward, the Dockers, than the Suns at the present time. But it's turned into a little bit of an arm wrestle for the good part of 3/4 of that second term. And, of course, the Dockers could only manage 3 behinds in that second term. The Gold Coast Suns put on 1 goal 3. So the Suns won that second quarter. But, as I said, it's a low-scoring game. You wouldn't expect that. It looks like a perfect day for football. The sun's shining, beautiful weather. Even though he said it's a little bit slippery out there. But looks like good conditions for football. We'll just have to wait and see what happens in the third and final quarter. See if these scores can progress a little bit more. Just in the other game that was played today, and of course, North Melbourne, they defeated Essendon, not by much, 79-65. 14-point winners were North Melbourne. Essendon played reasonably well in that game. I think that was at Marvel Stadium there today. So there we go. Let's have a little bit of a look at the player stats up until half-time. Of course, the leading goal scorer. There's only been 3 goal scorers out on the ground. Tell you what, you wouldn't often see that in a game of football these days. Only 3 goal scorers. Of course, Michael Frederick, he's kicked 3 straight. Give it to him. He'll put it through. I think his best is 4 goals. He's 1 away from his best. 3 goals for him. Luke Jackson's got 1. And, of course, the only goal scorer for the Suns, of course, is Ben King. Just looking at the ball magnets out on the ground so far. Murphy Reid doing well out there today. He's had 18 touches there for the Dockers, 11 kicks, 7 handballs. He's had 3 marks and a tackle. Of course, Noah Anderson for the Suns, his best for them was 16 disposals. He's had a couple clearances. He's had 5 marks, 3 tackles, 12 kicks, 4 handballs. Ulan, he's had on 14 as well. Of course, Jordan Clark, Shai Bolton there for the Dockers, both on 14 disposals. So we just roll on down a little bit. Commentators will be back to give a little bit of analysis. Coming up shortly, folks, so stick around for that. Matt Rowell, he's just had 11 there for the Suns, 4 clearances. Be interesting to have a look at the team stats. They did say the tackling count was pretty high for both teams. It looks, and that's what it's likely it is. A good contested game, this one, as I said, bit of a scrap in that second term. Hopefully things will open up a little bit. Caleb Strong there with 10 disposals. Same with Carl Warner, Hayden Young, Luke Ryan, Matty Jackson and Andy Brayshaw, all on 10. Will Powell also 10 there for the Suns. Isaiah Dudley yet to hit the scoreboard. 9 touches for him. Petrarca just the 8 touches. 1 behind for him. Tuke Miller 1 behind. 8 disposals as well. Luke Jackson 12 hit outs there for him. There we go. As we just roll on down, Ben King just had the 5 kicks, 1 goal, 2 for him. So he certainly needs to get on board for him. Xiaomi Mi, I tell you what, he's had a couple of chances there. He's had 4 disposals, 3 kicks. He's kicked 2 behinds there. The prancing pony, Patrick Voss, 3 touches, 2 kicks, 1 handball. He's just kicked the 1 behind. Josh Tracy, yet to trouble the scoreboard. All right, folks, we'll come back and have a look at the team stats in just a moment. Oh, let me get it back over to the right position. There we go. Let me put it back there. Let's just take you back to the commentators just for a moment. They'll give us a little bit of a wrap-up on the opening half.
Opportunities, and even in that quarter when the Suns stabilised to a degree, they still conceded 15 inside 50s, and the Gold Coast only had 7. The Gold Coast have stopped the bleeding, but they haven't done too much more. They could well have kicked some more goals in that term, Freo, but they start again in a few minutes' time.
Will and Kath are on the boundary, and Murphy Reid, Kathy, he is a rare talent, and he's oozed class in this opening half.
Yeah, no second-year blues for Murphy Reid. Unfortunately, the rains just started to fall again too, Kel, so there'll be slippery conditions after the break as well for all players. But Murphy Reid, you mentioned him, 18 disposals at half-time. Rain, hail or shine, he has an impact on games.
You took the words out of my mouth. It doesn't matter if it's raining, it's sunny, if they're winning, they're losing, it's a tight contest. No one plays on Murphy Reid. Would someone please play on this young man? 18 disposals. His work rate is elite, don't get me wrong. But if you're a defender who plays predominantly as a forward, as a 5th midfielder, go and play on him. It's outrageous. I find it strange. Every week I watch him and he just continues to dominate. Just a superstar talent, second year. Murphy Reid, 18 disposals in the first half. I wonder if he continues that on.
Yeah, such an important player for the Fremantle Dockers. David Zeta, he's going to join us after the break, Scully rather, because he's got all the latest footy news. And tonight, Fox Sports has our Red Heads covered. We've got every second of the Austrian Grand Prix live from 9:30.
All right, well, they're just back on a break. Folks, let's just head on over and have a look at the team stats. We'll have a look at the live ladder as we go as well to show you that where teams are positioned. After this, round 16, of course, disposal counts. The Dockers, they're plus 15 on the disposal count at the moment. So it loads up. The kicks are pretty even, 99, 96, 92, 72. Dockers doing a little bit more of the handball. Inside forward 50s. Dockers well and truly on top in that department. 31-17, 31-17. Plus 14 to the Dockers there. Of course, the efficiency, Dockers really good there at 79%. Gold Coast, as you see, 68, 68%, so a little bit low. Free kicks going away of the away side there, 11-9. The Suns are plus 2 in the free kick count there. The hit outs, the Gold Coast Suns plus 6, dominating the clearances, but most of those folks, they're coming from around the ground. 23-10, they're plus 13. Freo, they're plus 1 out of the centre clearance, 3-2. Mid's doing well there. As you see, the stoppage clearance is 21 to 7, they're plus 14 there. All right, look at the contested possessions, 59-71. As I said, it's a pretty well contested game, this one. Suns going well above there at 70, just under average for the Dockers there. Of course, uncontested, the Dockers, a bit of a chipper game. There we go, 123.95. The turnovers, nice and low, going under season average for the Dockers, so that's pretty good. Just a few more there for the Gold Coast Suns. The marking department, well, there we go, 43-37. Although the Dockers have found the inside forward 50 7 times, they've only been able to manage 4 goals out of that. Just the one from the Suns, I think that was Ben King, who slotted it through. Of course, contested marks a little bit better in the air of the Dockers, 5. The Suns yet to get one. Looking at the defensive work of the Dockers, and of course this is fantastic. This is a ring-a-ding-ding number. Have a look at the defensive work of the Dockers. I tell you what, they've got attack, but they've also got the defensive skill in their bag, in their repertoire at the moment. And of course, this is what the good sides have got. 48 tackles up until half-time. Season average, 58, so they're just about on season average, and they are double the season average of tackles inside forward 50. So their pressure The forwards, exceptional. 16 already to half-time, while we just a 5 to the Suns. That is fantastic. All right, let's just have a little bit of a look at the live ladder as it stands. If the Fremantle Dockers go on to win this game, they'll sit on top, of course. They will sit on top, of course, on 56 points. 2 games clear of the Sydney Swans if they happen to win. 14 wins, 1 loss for the Dockers. As I said, if they go on to win, because this is the live ladder, folks. This is the live ladder. Of course, Sydney will remain in second. And, of course, a game and a half clear of Hawthorn. And they're a game and a half clear of Geelong and the Brisbane Lions, with Adelaide rounding out the top 6 at the present moment. Of course, just outside of the top 6, still on 36 points, you've got Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. Well, have a look at North Melbourne climbing up the ladder. They're just a game behind them, sitting in 9th position on 32. Collingwood, go Pies. Tell you what, we are cheering for Freo to win this game, us Collingwood supporters, because we want to stay in at least the top 10 and then go into next week's, hopefully, for another ring-a-ding-ding game to climb the ladder as well. They're on 30 points, half a game clear, of course, of the Gold Coast Suns. There we go. That's where the Gold Coast Suns will sit if they happen to lose this game in 11th. Carlton, okay, well, Carlton's knocking on the door too. They're up into 12th position on 28. St Kilda, the Giants on 24. Port Adelaide on 20. The West Coast Eagles, 16 points. Of course, that rounds out with Richmond and Essendon on the bottom of the ladder. That's your live ladder at the moment, though, folks. But I tell you what, a bit of a tight game here at the moment. As I said, to the naked eye, it looks like the Fremantle Dockers have certainly been in control of more of this game. They just haven't been able to finish it off what they need to be. Let's just have a look, listen to the comment.
Right now with our very own David Zeta, who's in the newsroom. Zeets, bring us up to speed with those watching this Fremantle match. What happened at Marvel Stadium between North and Essendon?
All right, I'll just take it down to the newsroom, and then we'll be back in a few minutes with the third quarter.
Half a decade for the Roos, so they are in uncharted territory, and it's certainly the first time 3 wins in a row for Alistair Clarkson with the Roos. So a 14-point win over the Bombers. Again, it was a scrappy affair. It was certainly not one for the record books, but it will show that North Melbourne won, which is a great result for them. They are 9th on the ladder at the moment. George Wardlaw, that man there. Now, there were some scares and some fears for him in the second half when he suffered an injury, or what appeared to be an injury, after this incident against the Bombers. So he came from the ground, he looked very proppy, came back on eventually and played out the game, but you could be seen limping after the game. So hopefully everything is okay with George Wardlaw. He is finally getting a clean run at it. He's one of their best players when he is fit and firing, and they'll be very much hopeful to see that he comes up okay tomorrow and in the days ahead as they get ready for what will be a defining month in their quest for at least a wildcard berth, or potentially even a top 8 spot, depending on how they go. Now, Ben King is the talk of the footy town at the moment with his contract and where exactly it sits. The Suns, look, I think their confidence was strong at the start of the year. I think as this continues to go on and the uncertainty continues to remain and this holding pattern continues, they would just naturally be feeling less and less confident at the moment. So there hasn't been much movement on this from the Suns' perspective as yet. You'd think they want to know relatively soon what he wants to do with his future. Hawthorn's seen as the big player in that race for his services if he is that he decides to leave. So certainly a lot to play out there, as there is in the second half against the Dockers, Kath.
Thank you, Zeets. Yes, 1 goal, 2 to his name thus far. Let's see what he and the Suns can do in the second half. They trail by 20 points. So much to look forward to this winter on Fox Sports, including a historic women's football clash. North Sydney Oval, August 1, Australia v Ireland, live and exclusive on Fox.
16. Nick Del Santo, we're about to get underway. Christian Petrarca, will he have a big influence in this second half?
Well, he needs to, perhaps. He's just had the 8 disposals. We know they've been sharing the workload. It's a different combination at the centre square bounce. I think Holman is in there once again, but they're plus 13 in the clearances. So Holman appears like he's going to go back to Caleb Sarong. We thought he might have dropped that, but the margin only being 20 points. They're still within striking distance, but they're Damon Harding saying we're concerned about Sarong. We don't want him to get off the chain, but I think Petrarca's the man, if anybody is, just to maybe turn this around from the Gold Coast Suns in this second half.
It's the third quarter last week against the Cats. The Dockers piled on 7 goals straight in that term. We're underway, third quarter, Sunday afternoon footy at Optus Stadium. An immediate whistle. And the free kick's going to go to Rowell out of the middle. Suns would love an early one. It's the 1 goal in the first half. Driving footy in. Walter! That was a huge leap. Just couldn't bring it down. Big presence down there, but Fremantle come up with it. Powell held on to free kick. That was an almighty leap from Jed Walter.
Yeah, it's a really questionable handball coming out of defence there. Set up fast Freddie. But good start here by the Suns.
Now there's a long kick of the footy.
Just Walter getting to air.
Should have taken it in the end. He did all the hard work, had a perfect run at the footy.
He can kick a barrel as well, Will Powell. There's a long kick. He spins the Sharon in the fingertips. Taking a long time on the approach. It'll be all about the connection. From long range, gives it a heave, struck it well and hits the post. It was an almighty effort.
That's stiff. That was a great kick. Boys, John McVie came to the bench with his jacket on, was speaking to doctors, spoke to Fremantle, asked what was wrong with him. He's from Geraldton and he's cold.
Thanks, Will. Luke Ryan with the long kick in. Tracy. Good tackle. Here goes Rao, hitting it. Gritting the teeth with intent. Overrunning it. As the young kid in Murray goes back again. Still fighting and scrapping. Rising star nominee this week. Anderson, he does well, Murray.
Did well, really well.
Anderson's handball, though, has gone straight to Chapman, to Young. Switkowski using their hands. Brayshaw with a fumble. He's got the time. Tries to draw the defender and then eventually get it over to Erasmus. Andrew was up to it, couldn't catch him. Back to Switkowski. Chapman just pokes the kick to Jackson. There's plenty of space. And Moyle sucking in the oxygen a couple of metres behind him.
Damien Harwood quickly to the laptop to try and work out how that happened. That was like the 3-man weave. It's like a training drill. They just refused to kick the ball long down the line. Desperately trying to come back through the middle through unchained or through uncontested possession chains. And this man's there in the right spot once again.
He's third in the coaches' votes behind Nick Dacos and Marcus Bontempelli. He's in a rich vein of form. And Jackson adds to the tally. His second. And they're out by 25.
Well, let's have a look at the build-up here on the Harvey Norman. And it's all about the handball. Luke Jackson was involved. Switkowski was involved. They even had time for a fumble. And Brayshaw was just desperate, I think, to get it to him, just to square up for that fumble. And then finally, they go inside, and there he is, the big man. And he delivered one of the best shots at goal, technique-wise. It was absolutely perfect. Switkowski's just such a clever player. And coming off that half back line, Heath Chapman continues to grow. And have a look at that. That is just pure technique.
So, Jared, 6 goals in the last 2 games,
Yep.
10 coaches' votes in the last fortnight. He's kicked 2 today. They're talking about him as maybe the first ruckman to win the Brownlow since Scotty Wine.
Well, he's every chance. He's playing brilliant footy.
Suns out of the middle. Long, desperate spoil from Ryan. Going back onto it. Chapman, change of direction, a neat step just to get that space to set it out to Switkowski.
By definition, he's still a midfielder, Cal, so another midfielder can win the Brownlow. They'll claim him as one of their own.
Well, Goodsey did it as well. He was a bit of a ruck, wasn't he?
Now kicked 17 goals for the season, Luke Jackson. He's kicked 20 plus in his last 3 seasons. playing more as a forward.
It does raise the question, though, whether Adam Goods was a ruckman when he won his first, which I think he probably was.
He went everywhere he wanted. Sometimes he was the rover. Next moment he was the ruck. He was a nightmare to play on.
It's unbelievable. It's Freo. Just chip it around at half-back.
He's having a good game, Luke Ryan.
He has not lost a game this season, Luke Ryan. Did play in that first one down in Geelong.
That's a good record.
They came into the season in their second game and yet to taste defeat this season. As down the line they go. Tracy Collins with the spoil. Sarong waiting front and centre. Jackson, the midfielder, getting involved. He lays it up. He can do it all. He finds Voss storming out of full forward.
Well, you got the ruckman on the outside of the right bank. The Nick Dacos kick. Look at the swagger.
Not supposed to be able to do that at his size.
No, you're not.
But the fact they've got 3 of these amigos down forward means you can have 2 like we just saw there with Tracy and a miss coming forward. You've got the ruckman who's playing like a rover, and you've still got one coming out of the goal square.
Kicking has been the issue for Freo forwards, though, in terms of conversion. Voss from directly in front. Struck it sweet. Couple of blows landed by Freo to start the third term.
It's all about that conversion. So to start this quarter, the Gold Coast Suns get a couple of clearances. They get the inside 50 and Powell hits the post from 55. And since then, Freo have gone inside forward 50 3 times for these 2 guys. Look at the technique and the execution in those moments from a kite that high. That's how you want to mark the football. That's how you want to deliver a footy.
Yeah, they were hunting the corridor, though. And he was on the receive, the big man. The kick was just superb. When he was first drafted, there were people questioning what role was he going to play, this bloke. He won a premiership with Melbourne, came back to Perth, and he's now just blossomed into whatever you want to call him. He's awesome.
And here he goes again. Moyle this time to Bolton. Quick hands to Reid. He takes off. Murphy, he has a bounce. He steadies from 48. Oh, and it's dropped by Collins right on the goal line. Was it a pass, Jared, or was it a shot?
I think it may have had a bit of shot about it. He's not a really quick player. He's just a really smart player. Hasn't got a huge kick on him.
It's up to 19 disposals. Murphy Reid as Powell out of defence. Warner and Miller compete in the air. Chapman beeline it and spun out of trouble. Having some sort of 5 minutes. Heath Chapman. And now Amos from the 50. He delivers to Switkowski.
Just overwhelming him. Fantastic defence initially. Once again, we highlighted in the first half the inability of the Gold Coast Suns to go from their defensive 50 to inside 50 through acts like this. Fantastic in a contest that then allows you to rebound the football. Another shot at goal, Cal.
Sam Switkowski. Goalless against Geelong last week after a career-high 3 against the Kangaroos down in Bunbury. He sprays that one wide. Out of bounds on the full.
Some game-high lead of 32 points to Anderson. He's had the most touches for the visitors. He's up to number 18 here. Spears that pass to Collins. Swings it wide, trying to open up Fremantle's defence. Andrew. Oh, he missed an absolute sitter of a handball with Jeffrey. And Sarong can torch them on the turnover. Tracy 1-2. Is it paid? No, it's not. Doesn't matter. He takes on 3 Suns defenders. Kicks into the pocket. A little bit too much on it for Amos. Careful. That come off the black boot of Sam Collins. Okay. Just sloppy. Damien Hardwick can hardly believe what he can see at the moment.
I'm saying we do not practice that in training. I promise you that's not what we're trying to do.
Jackson, interesting. It's like a volleyball type move to Switkowski, who goes for home. And misses to the near side.
The action from Dimmer is meme-worthy.
Yes, spot on, perhaps. And it'll fit a lot of categories when you're in a group chat as well.
Andrew in the back pocket for Murray. Now on the back foot, the Suns. Just one goal for the game. Freo trying to put the foot down and cap this game in the third term. Miller. And the Gold Coast respond. Water goes back with courage. Long was there too. McVeigh mop it up. He's trying to change direction, and the handball's forward to create. Warner, Murphy Reed, wrapped up by Miller. Anderson, Powell, Rao, Lombard. Good vision just to chip it in short to Petrarca. Quickly on the boot. Good execution. And just the little movement that the Suns needed to find a target inside 50.
That's when turnovers absolutely kill you. Midfield turnover, everybody's flooding into the forward line. And then you get a turnaround. And found one in Leo Lombardi. He's a beauty.
Ben Kim, the only goal kicker so far for the Suns. It's been long. And we're looking for just a second in a game. And cannot afford to be wasting opportunities as good as that one. 1 goal, 7 for Gold Coast.
Perhaps when you're playing against Freo, they don't give you a lot of looks. They're not a team that makes huge mistakes in clangers. So when you get them, you've got to capitalise. It's going to be hard enough as it is.
Still have not had a goal to the left of screen. Reed gives it off to McVeigh. Couple of bounces, crosses the midfield, over to Dudley, takes all his time, footsteps bearing down, gets the kick away to Tracy. Definition of strong hands.
He's a great mark, this bloke. He's fantastic to come and watch.
And what often happens is you miss some opportunities at one end. You play against the best teams in the competition, they go down the other end and make you pay. Seen it already with the Luke Jackson goal. And Tracy gets his opportunity.
He was the leading goal kicker for Fremantle last year with 44. He's already got 34 to round 16. To make it 3 in a row for Fremantle after half-time, and that one's a little skinny.
There's some issues there, key forwards with kicking a goal. That was a tough chance, but Jared, you've been speaking about it through the coverage.
Yeah,
it's been like this for a number of weeks,
hasn't it? Yeah, and I mean, Tracy had a really bad spell a few weeks ago. The ball dropped us all over the place, but then you turn up the following week and he nails a few.
Collins wants the boundary line. They're struggling to get it out of the defensive 50 that time. The Suns stays in a dangerous area for Justin Longmuir and the Dockers.
Starting it's 1 goal 4 between the 3 key forwards. Luke Jackson's been the only one that's been accurate with 2 goals straight. Areas of growth for what is already a fantastic team in the Dockers.
Darcy front position. Driscoll. Al back into it. Brayshaw had him. He threw it away, holding the ball.
Yeah, he just missed the fist on the handballs. Good tackle, good pressure.
Already up over 50 tackles for the game, the Dockers. Around the back, Voss was calling for it. Brayshaw was a little slow to get the handball to him. Eventually they turn it over. Holman, a fumble, then he dove back on top of it. Has to get it out. Did just in time. Takes a couple to try and tackle Voss and Tracy. Holman's a little sore getting back to his feet. Clark's there, back for Warner, looking for a target. Out the back, Bolton almost. Sliding in. Ritz, a fumble, Murray, back and rushed through by Collins.
Yeah, you go back to that original handball, and it's just not on. It wasn't anywhere near enough space. They don't need to. They could have gone back and set it up. The scary thing is, whilst Bolton's had an okay day, he hasn't had one of his big days, and he's one of the 8 graders out there.
Jepson up towards Walter, who's knocked off it by Clark. Sarong, Brayshaw left it for Sarong. O'Driscoll, pinpoint, slipped through the hands in the end of Amos. Look out, Murphy Reed is creative. He's lingering, so is Dudley. Questions been asked.
Jepson did everything he could to say he had no play on that football. If you have a look at Holman, who's getting some treatment to checking that left knee.
Darcy, Brayshaw, snap. Misses.
that Holman injury. This is where he went down and stayed down. Just a tweak. Yeah, he grabs that left knee straight away. Struggles to get to his feet.
A little bit of a valgus strain on it. It's just a slippery turf. No one else involved. A little bit of a what, John? He had that stretch of the medial ligament.
Dockers fans trying to get their side going. A chant around Optus Stadium. Tackling pressure continues and holding the ball. Advantage taken. Sarong to the pocket. Collins with strength. Sees it over.
Been a good battle, that one. Really good battle.
You can still see the knee going on. Look, Sean Darcy is in the ruck here. He's only just over 40% on ground. These sorts of circumstances, they'll be looking to get an advantage here.
In Sweets, they lock up. Bolton. No room to move. 8.5 to play in this third quarter. Darcy on to punch it away. Rowell a clearing kick. Strength from Walter. Shove Chapman out of the way.
He's going to have to go slow here, Paps. It was a fantastic mark just to maintain possession, but the Dockers got 2 extras behind the football.
Grimes waiting back there for that long kick forward. He's going to go in that direction now. Brennan Cox from the side.
That's just lack of game awareness.
Ryan across to Voss.
No point taking a mark and waiting and then just forcing it back into a live play.
Fisher was breaking for him, but man on the mark got a touch to it. Ballard it was. And here's Warner, Clark. O'Driscoll in space. Striding along that outer wing.
Better from O'Driscoll. He's a really good player, O'Driscoll, when he gets going. He's just got to sort his disposal out a little bit.
Brayshaw. Over the head of Frederick. Collins with the definitive spoil. Trying to spin his way out of trouble was Bolton. But Brown was having none of it. Tackled him and Shea doesn't like the call.
We've got Pilates. It's a very strong tackle. The question is, did he have any prior opportunity? Not in my view, but who knows these days.
Matty Rowell. It's been strong, and that is a strong mark from Walter, who's threatened in the air quite a bit today.
It's his second in a row. Let's see how he manages this. So he turned it over the previous one by giving off a handball receive.
7 goals straight have been kicked to the right of screen. We haven't yet had a major up this end. Rowell again. Miller. Brilliant tackle by Clark. Somehow he gets, I'm not sure it was boot to ball, it was leg to ball. It was all clear. Anderson retreating back to Jeffrey. Flares it wide to Walter, to Jepson rather.
You put that non-decision there and combine it to what we just saw with Shea Bolton. You just get baffled.
Little short lead ignored. Instead he goes long up towards Walter. He's got the spring in his boots, long with a snap. And another miss.
Well, it's been far too long since we had a goal at that end, Cal. What's your theory?
Well, we have to ask Will downstairs. Will, what's your theory? We haven't had a major down there on the end of the ground at all.
It's not wind, I can tell you that. The flag's not moving.
Out wide, infringement against Andrew, so free kick to the Suns. Chance to go back inside 50. With lots of numbers back. Andrews is going to kick it in hope. Looking for someone to launch. Walter will get a launch at it. And he's claiming the mark. Not paid. Did he have enough of it?
Well, he had a lot of it. That's whether some other people had. There you go. There's the explanation. Touched in front. Let's have a close look at this. We've got the luxury of having a second look at it.
Humphrey. Just touched off the boot. Smothered down anyway. Lombard. Long. Rowell. Ansel back. Power with a fumble now. Invites the pressure. Ansel goes back in again. Murray. Andrew. Noble. They're queuing up now, the Suns. Bodie Hewlin. Neat step, but Voss is too strong. He handles it. Rocket back to the middle of the ground. Ballard wide. It sits up. O'Driscoll read it. Now comes the counter-attack. O'Driscoll with runners inside. Brayshaw with options. And Frederick is too quick for them.
That's great work from O'Driscoll. That's why he's a really important inclusion. He's got speed. He reads it well. He came forward, intercepted. And then the man on screen got the spikes on and started charging forward.
Good luck chasing.
Stuff.
Good luck chasing this man when it becomes a race.
Once he gets goal side. He's a tough player to stop, Michael Frederick. Going for equal career best, 4 goals. He had in the derby last year. It has been his day so far. Frederick equals his career high with the 4 goals. And adds to the pain of the Suns.
Well done, young man. Blistering start of this game with the 3 goals. But this is the turnover, so they're just trying to find a way to change the angle. Ballard's kick just had too much air under the football. Timmer's had enough. Oh, it's a helpless feeling. And then this becomes a foot race, so Ballard's the man that turns the football over, and he's desperately trying to get back to Frederick. Good luck.
It's good angles. They came in board, they went outboard, and Ballard was lost. He turned around trying to track the footy, and in the meantime, Fast Freddy went left. And he's headed towards 6, 7 or 8, Delhi. He may put on an absolute clinic in this next 30 or 40 minutes.
Margin is 40 points. Sunday ticket on Fox Footy. The Freo chant has gone up.
Coming into the game, I just thought selection, they might have kept Oscar Adams and released Big Mac into the ruck.
They're going forward again off a Switkowski kick, and it's a Jeffrey Market centre-half back.
So Ballard would have come in for the centre-half back role and maybe just released Mac Andrew into that ruck role. They've got to change something up between now and the end of the season. Just try and experiment, because they've lost their way.
Well, it's the decision to go with Moyle and Wicks, isn't it?
It is.
Wicks played those... He rested, rather, the couple of games in Darwin, and Moyle played them. Now they've elected to go with both. Well, it's a risky kick, just comes off. Bodie Orland.
Good on, Moyle. Hey.
Just struggling to keep their head above water at the moment, the Suns. Uses his brother in Zeke to row. Humphrey hasn't had much of it. To Miller. Can he set something up? Stabs the pass towards King. Over his head, and waiting was O'Driscoll. Ryan. Warner. Just in complete control now. Johnson. Darcy. Warm applause for him. Warner again getting involved. Here's Reid. Pressure bearing down. Handballs backwards to Johnson. Just dashes through the midfield. His handball. Too much on it. Stolen from Zeke by Zeke Yorland. Moyle. Now they've got some run. What can Leo set up? Lombard. Flicked it wide. And Walter Marks. He could have given it to Petrarca. He's still calling for it.
There's no issue about the distance from here. Zeke Yulin's having a very, very good year. Just the composure. His teammates have been overwhelmed from the first centre square ball up. And he just has little moments like that where you can see why they're so high and keen on what he can be or whatever it is.
This goal's been cursed so far. Can Walter find the big sticks? He can. They peg one back.
And that's a strong decision by Walter. He had a very experienced and famous name calling for it in the forward pocket. And he elected to just assess it. He wasn't back far enough to give it quickly. So I thought it was a good decision in the finish, and he went back and backed himself in. You see here, he's got a pretty experienced defender on him. He's tall, got big limbs. So it would have been a risk to give it to Petrarca. And to go back and give it his own lasso was a good result.
Hardwick time.
Probably hasn't caught on what Wolfie time just at the present time. But, we'll get there.
It's deafening, man.
It'll get there.
What would the song be? That's out of the middle. Freo will have it. Jackson on Bolton. Elusive. Inside 50. Darcy down there. Ballard a good spoil. But a holding free kick. Will go to the big ruckman for Freo.
Yeah, he must have grabbed the jumper with the right arm because he spoiled really well with the left. But that was just magic out of the centre. Long handball to Shy Bolton, who kept his feet. spun out of trouble and banged it straight to the bearded one.
Oh, they'll love this.
Yeah, watch them come from everywhere, Dal. Let's put the muzzle right on him.
Been a lot spoken about which combination Fremantle will be going with their ruck setup. He's battled some injury again this season, Sean Darcy. He's a popular player. And it's Big Sean's big return.
I reckon the Dockers coach JL has handled this really well. He knows what he's got as a player. He's a fantastic forward as well as a ruckman. And he's backed him in. He's could have played him a couple of weeks ago, I'm sure, but let him get rock hard fit. So when he does come back, he gets that sort of reward.
Oh, look at the smile. Brilliant stuff. Been a tough season with that calf injury. He's been made to work for it in the waffle. 3 games. Picked a couple up forward last week in the waffle. Finds his place back in this side.
He looks fit.
They're all fit. They've got one on the injury list. And Sam Sturt, who's out for 1 week, and then they've got a full list. Oh, an advantage? No. Confusion. Petrarca not happy. Gives it off to Andrew. Walder's got to run at it again. King was there, the target. Comes back. Young. Straight to Rao. Just pops it up. King will get the run and jump at it. Charging through was Miller. Now, was it play on advantage or a free kick to Freo? Oh, free kick to Freo.
Possibly a 50 as well.
Shoulder, free kick to Warren, and they go back to Clark. 30 seconds on the time clock. Might not be in too much of a hurry. Clark will drive it up the line. Andrew and Tracy battle again. The help came from Bodial and Powell over the shoulder.
She just had to hit him with that. He was very lucky to get the free kick.
10 seconds remain. Now in the third term, Lombard, fleet of foot, chance for a mark. Second stick down, Pierce.
Solid defence. Really solid defence.
And applause from the Freo fans around Optus Stadium as they doubled their advantage in that third term. Sean Darcy getting in on the act, kicking a goal in that third quarter. Anyone added for the Suns is by Jed Walter. Those two having a significant impact on this contest as we turn for home on a Sunday afternoon at Optus Stadium. It's Fremantle leading it by 40 points.
All right, there we go. 3/4 time here at Optus Stadium. And, of course, the Dockers, well, they're getting the job done, aren't they? They certainly kicked to the scoring end. I think there was just one goal kicked to at the end of the Suns all day. And, of course, the other goal's down the opposite end. But it's 8-12-60. The Fremantle Dockers doing it well. 2-8-20. The Gold Coast Suns, 20 scoring shots to 10. And as, look, as I was saying earlier on, as we thought the Dockers were sort of dominating the game without putting the score on the board. That's exactly what one of the blokes from Freo was saying. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name now, but there we go. Hopefully they keep the foot on the gas. You would think so. The Dockers do have a tendency to keep playing the games out. Unlike some other teams, look, good teams want to keep doing that, keeping good form. They don't want to let that slip. They don't want to let the Suns get a roll on or anything like that. They want to keep playing their game, make sure they play this game right out. Of course, 4 minutes till the start of the final quarter. Hey, let's just have a look at the goal scorers. We had a few more now. We were only 3 at half time. We've doubled that. There we go. Frederick, he's kicked 4 straight for the Dockers. That's his PB, 4 goals. Give him one more, make him a bag full, a handful for Fredders. Tell you what, he's a good player, isn't he? Luke Jackson, well, they're talking about Brownlow for Luke Jackson. Surely he'll score a few Brownlow votes this season. He's kicked 2 there for the Dockers. The prancing pony, Paddy Voss, he's kicked 1 with Sean Darcy. There we go. And, of course, for the Gold Coast Suns, couple of lonely goal scorers, just singles to Jed Walter and Ben King. That is your goal scorers up until three-quarter time. The ball magnets, Murphy Reid, continues to do what he does, and that's excel in his games. He's had 22 touches, and on top of the disposal count, 13 kicks, 9 handballs. He's had 3 marks and a tackle. Well, Matty Rowell's come up a little bit with Noah Anderson, both on 20 there for the Gold Coast Suns. 6 and 3 in the clearance for those boys there. And, of course, Jordan Clark for the Dockers, 19. Carl Warner, 18. Andy Brayshaw, that's the one who said, just keep doing what we're doing. They're doing everything right, and the score will come. Did say that to the commentator there at halftime, and he was right. There we go. Shy Bolton, tell you what, he's electric when he gets going, isn't he? 17 touches he's had, 7 kicks, 10 handballs, couple clearances there for Shy. Well done. McAndrew on 17 for the Suns. Ulandi's on 16. Caleb Sarong, if you're wondering how he's going. Well, he's had 15 touches. He's had 3 clearances. He's had 5 tackles, 7 kicks, 8 handballs. That's how Caleb Sarong's going. Who else we got down there? If you're wondering about Took Miller, also 12 touches there for the Gold Coast Suns. Just the one behind. He's had 1 clearance, 7 kicks, 5 handballs for him. Of course, Luke Jackson with his 11 disposals, 2 goals. He's had 13 hit-outs, 4 clearances, so he's doing really well there. Christian Petrarca, just a quiet game from him today. Just 9 touches, 6 kicks, 3 handballs, 3 clearances, just the one behind for him. The Prancing Pony, he hasn't had the ball much, just 7 disposals, 5 kicks, 2 handballs, 1 goal, 1. Josh Tracy, I tell you what, they're doing all right. Josh Tracy, he hasn't hit a major yet. He's hit 1 behind off his 5 kicks. Surely he'll kick one in the final term. Ben King also kept quiet. The defenders are really doing a job today. 1 goal, 2 for Ben King, and of course Frederick, 6 kicks, 4 straight goals. Alex Pearce there, 3 touches. So he's doing pretty good there. Defensive work. Sean Darcy there. And he came up with a goal there for the Dockers there. Just the 3 touches. 1 kick, 1 goal. 16 hit-outs there for the Dockers. All right, let me just put this back up. Let me put it back onto here. We're only a minute away from the bounce of the ball. Big Dogs 1, how you doing? Why are the Suns playing so bad? That's a good question. I think the Suns still lose, but I think they... Well, it's going to be interesting. The end that the Dockers are going to now, there's only been 1 goal scored out of the 10 at that end of the ground. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. I think the forward line hasn't really been working for the Suns today. Look, they get a little bit of a run. But the pressure, look, the tackle count, the pressure from the Dockers has been really good. As you can see, let me have a look at the team stats. Let me take it right down. Let me just roll this down quickly. Well, that didn't work, did it? All right, let me take it down quickly. I hope this doesn't make you dizzy. There we go. Look at the tackle count. The Dockers, 58. They are already on 58 tackles for the Dockers. They're already on season average, so they're really putting the pressure. They're hunting the Suns, so... that doesn't help when you're getting good pressure put on. 36 to the Suns. And if you have a look at the tackle count, inside forward 50s, 19. Wow, they're only 8.8 is their season average to 5. But the tackle count really does help when your team is continuously attacking and continuously defending like that. Putting so much pressure on the opposition does make it really hard. Put them under pressure. Make some errors. And, of course, can't really get much clean run at the ball. All right, let's head back down to the action for the final quarter where it's the Dockers by 40 points.
It's borderline unwatchable what they're able to put out. A contested game's fine, their clearance game's fine, but now they can't transition the footy. They need to be better than they have been.
Yeah, they're an interesting watch, Kath. And in many respects, a lot of clubs can play finals. Expectations go through the roof, and it's hard to back it up.
There we go into the final quarter. Anderson, Petrarca, starting in the midfield. Played a lot in the forward line for most of this game. Cox and King. Humphrey. Loops the handball straight to the opposition. Quick couple of handballs here. That was well played by Noble. Quick thinking, but the kick to Pearce. And up charm. Darren, I guess to put it in perspective, when they played that elimination final 9 months ago, there's been 3 changes for the Freo side. So there's no Fife and, of course, retired O'Meara and Banfield in the waffle. And there's been 10 changes for the Gold Coast Suns. And Switkowski, Young and Petrarca. Good handball up to Miller. Still so much pressure. Brody Euland. Petrarca, he's got some great memories on this ground. Couldn't quite hit up his target in Adamsall, one of the youngsters out there for the Gold Coast Suns. And here they go through Jackson. Brayshaw in space.
We'll get back to the Suns, but that's just a great transition. Turnover on the centre wing. Get it to the other side of the ground. This big unit, he just keeps on him pressing. And who knows, he may well be wearing a medal come the Monday night before the grand final.
Andy Brayshaw with the 4 goals so far this season to extend the lead. They love him here, and the Purple Army is up and about.
And what was the right idea from Christian Petrarca on the near side to bring it back into the corridor with this kick right here. Just misses its target, so it goes from a great kick to a really dangerous kick, particularly when Luke Jackson's on the move here. Witts is doing everything he can. He knows that the ball's going to go back to him. He just simply can't go any faster. And from turnover today, 7 goals, 6. So they're so damaging. Look at the work rate from Brayshaw. And what was offense, an opportunity to go inside forward 50. And out of desperation, you're trying to just track back to find any opponent you can. They just simply can't get there in time.
Yeah, hard running out there. You saw Anderson just trying to keep up, but couldn't get there. So they go back to the centre and do it all again.
Jackson against Witts. Jackson elevating straight down the throat of Sarong. Tackled well and holding the ball. Free kick to the Suns as Anderson goes inside 50. Ryan led long to it. Warner. Brayshaw. Clark. Off balance, just threw it on the boot. Tracy down low, couldn't take it. Tough one. Zeke Hewlin. Anderson. Back to Hewlin. Now Andrew. Tracy was hunting after him. Pick up the line, right.
Well, we talk a lot about the 3 talls in the forward line for Freo, but those 3 defenders, Luke Ryan's not huge, but he's been playing tall for about a decade. They are been playing together and great footy together for over a decade. It's been superb.
Jackson and Murphy recombine again. Young couldn't take it. Woody almost taken high. Anderson, awkward looking kick through the middle. Witts had it knocked away. Active hands from Brayshaw. Sarong back for Brayshaw, lining up again, and he's here again. Jackson's got it.
He just reads the play. He sees the turnover about to happen as he passes this one.
And goes unselfishly into the pocket for Shapel.
He just ducks out the back. It's not cheating. He knows that ball's going to be turned over. He knows where his teammates ultimately want to go, and he just gets to the right spot 10 metres before anybody else.
Incredible form, Luke Jackson.
Well, there's the smother that started it all. Really clever from Brayshaw. The big man had no idea what was coming, and he flipped it out to the big man.
Well, hasn't had to be at his electrifying best today. And he's capable of the mercurial. He goes across the face. Big pack up. Tracy committed himself, landed awkwardly. Suns clear it through Andrew. Mark is there, and good hard work from Walter to get across and see it over out.
So let's get stuck back into these Suns. My theory is they're a bit like Melbourne and Freo, who popped about 5 years ago, played finals footy. In 21 they finished 11th, 22 they finished 5th. Expectations rose, then they went back and got more mature, etc. 23, 14th, then 10th, then last week 6th, and right now they're top and premiership favourites.
So this Suns team needs to mature.
I think so. I think they went young, as you rightly pointed out, Kel. They've brought a lot of young kids in and got rid of a few. So far they've beaten the Cats in round 1. That elevated expectations. Then it's been West Coast, Richmond, Essendon, Giants, St Kilda, Port Adelaide. They've effectively beaten no one in the top 8. Outside of Geelong in round 1.
Jepson, Miller, Reid, applies the pressure.
A good pressure, good chase for Murphy, Rick. They'll enjoy that.
So the 10 changes from that elimination final include the youngsters, first-year players, Jepson, Adamsall, Murray, Zeke Ewland. Throw in Lombard, who didn't play in that game, Ned Moyle. So nearly half their side has changed from that elimination final. Nothing going right for the Gold Coast Suns. Brayshaw. Collins laying in front of Amos. Backing back Darcy. Knocked down. Walter. Shoved off it by Clark. Went back. Got it. And the kick is offline.
Collins has done his job today. It's been 45 inside 50s against so far for the Gold Coast Suns. So 45 inside 50s for Freo. He's been rock solid as he nearly always is. Such a tough defender. He's had Amos as his direct matchup today.
It's been the 50th club game for the Suns. Sam Collins been terrific, particularly in his second stint at the AFL level after starting at Freo.
From Readers we saw come from the bench. He's had 24 disposals, which is the most for Freo. Noah Anderson up to 25.
It's turned out a beautiful evening. As the ball's knocked down, Johnson. Everyone along the ground was creative to get it out to Bolton, cruising the wing and delivering for Tracy, who attacks it with vigour each and every time. A handball forward to Voss. Turning inside 50, setting it to the square. Dudley harassed enough. Pressure arrives. Witkowski handled straight to the line by Zeke Ewland and penalised.
Just enormous pressure inside the forward 50. Fremantle, they are such a mature team right now. They're going to have to keep on maturing if they're going to create history. That's what's so exciting right now if you're on the Docker wagon.
Dudley's a big part of that forward line pressure. Can't hit the scoreboard himself in terms of a goal.
9 goals, 13 perhaps. It was great pressure. I know Jepson's only a young man, but that was a chest mark at the top of the goal square. Just simply have to take that.
The tackle count, the Suns 37. Fremantle 58. Telling. Andrew takes off and just bombs it long. And the only play to fly was Chapman.
They have just played the game in their front half for them. It's just been superb the way their defence has pushed up, come forward each and every time.
Well, you touch on those tackles, the 59, 33 of them have been in the front half. So it just highlights where the ball's been. They're a team that averages 6 more minutes in possession than their opponents, so it's a lot of football over the course of 2 hours.
Sharing it around in complete control. The Dockers chasing their 14th consecutive win. Tracy and Andrew with the spoil.
And just for the record, Kel, you can come up with theories like I had just there. But the trouble with theories, you can say Melbourne did this and then went on and won a flag. You say Fremantle done this and then went down. There's no guarantee.
Yes.
And if you're going to lose players out of this Gold Coast side, then all of a sudden theories can go to the wall.
50,600 in the house. A massive crowd on a Sunday afternoon. They're so content with their work, they've got the Mexican wave going around the stadium.
Yeah, that's right. Perhaps they're trying to keep warm down here. Full-blown Mexican wave. Don't know if I'm a fan of it, to be honest.
You can see them rising behind Brayshaw. He's going to send it in. Darcy down there. Voss attacked it. Amos didn't hit the ground. Got the handball to Tracy. Feeds it inboard. Good take by Witkowski. He was tackled well.
Well, the first handball was a ripper. The second one probably a little adventurous, but they're just playing for each other. There's no me out there. It's all team. It looks fantastic for the Dockers.
On the cusp of their 14th win in a row. Voss right back for Dudley. No fumbles. Found it again. Chapman tackled Voss, who tries to just barrel his way through, went along the ground. Chapman kept it in play. He's had a good game. Dudley. Driscoll in there. Miller flicks it back. Noble. Up and under. Wants it up again. King over the top of Ryan. Knocked it down. Boundary line. Eventually. It finds its way there.
A bit scrappy on the far side. Not Freo's best passage of play.
This bloke's got to sort himself out, Bill. You can't go with his talent. Go along and have 5 touches for the game.
Damien Hardwick said a couple of weeks ago on AFL 360 the speculation about his future has definitely affected his form.
Well, he's playing his way out of the side right now.
Adam saw in his second game, straight to Pierce.
And ultimately, sometimes you've got to go back and get your head right. And if that's happening, the coach has supported him for a few weeks, a lot of weeks.
Risky kick to McVee. Stolen here by Holman. Humphrey needs to find the target. Well done by Cox. Oh, Walter had to leapfrog long in the end behind the play. Oh, slipping over is Warner. Here's a chance for the Dockers, or rather the Suns, but a steadying kick out wide to Brayshaw. Got the numbers on the outer side. Bolton. He's got a paddock. As casual as you like. Striding out. Bounce. Delivering down the line. Voss will go hard and low. Andrew tries to wrap him up. O'Driscoll back inboard to Dudley. Dudley in space. He smells a goal. He loves the goal. He misses the goal.
It was all set up for him, wasn't it, Paps?
Can't buy one.
The stick from Voss there.
Yeah, Voss at the block.
Smash his way through.
Yeah, he just thought, I'll just try and run over somebody here instead of going around them. But he did it well. Got his arms free to Dudley.
Jeffrey. Round in full voice. Collins up the line, finds Nova. Wheel around. Chance to send it long. And King is the target. And Cox was there, long with a neat fend. He just needs to finish. It's up and under. We're falling short. Walter back. Punch through. And Luke Jackson getting back on the last line now.
Yeah.
Sending it through for a rush behind.
Storyline for both teams has been the inaccuracy. 9 goals, 14, 2 goals, 9. But just defensively, what the Dockers are doing. So you just look at the raw numbers. So you can see 2 goals with 10.5 to play in this last quarter. It's incredible numbers.
Lead by 47 points. Jared, do you rest him at all, Luke Jackson? In this last quarter, do you bring him to the
I'm
bench?
not sure about that. If you're going to give him a day off, give him a day off.
8 games to go. Would you rest him at all? Do you flirt with your form?
I'm not one of those people that suggest you should be resting. I think he's a young athlete. He's loving life and he's playing well. They brought in another ruckman, so he's not going to be doing 100%. Just let him fly.
Chapman, Tracy and Andrew. It's been great matchup all afternoon. Tracy involved again to Bolton. The little sidestep, handballed behind Johnson in the end. Goes back and gets it. Warner. Wide to O'Driscoll. Needs a kind bounce. Eventually gathers. Pressure comes from Noble. Cox gets rid of Ben King. Handball back to O'Driscoll. Inboard Warner. That's a huge hit. A crunching hip and shoulder from Long on Warner, and he'd be feeling every bone in his body right now.
Yeah, he might have got him just under the rib cage. Oh, yeah, right in there underneath the arm.
Big hit. Warner gasping for breath. Tough customer. Good player staying out there. Suns should have the numbers advantage though. Rao lost out. Johnson, O'Driscoll. Sarong. Warner's going to have to get back involved. Off the left booty. Swings it inside 50. And out the back Bella.
You can't be led to those amiss. He's got to get better at this. He's a key factor in this premiership assault. And he's got a lot of better games to play in front of him.
Jeffrey. Anderson. Disposal number 26. Most for the Suns coming up.
Always works hard, Paps, doesn't he? He's trying so hard, desperately hard.
Coming up for
It's not working.
Career high 43 last week. Tracy gave away the free. Straight down the jumper. Brody Ewing.
Coming in for disposal number 23. And his brother Zeke's had 21 himself.
Not much method forward for the Suns. Here's Zeke getting involved. Dockers defence set up. Everyone's going to try and find a target. Moyle was there. Petrarca, left foot snap. Not enough purchase. And Brendan Cox will help it over for a behind. They're still stuck with those 2 goals. The Suns, 2 goals, 10 to this point.
Did have good memories from this ground. Christian Petrarca going back a few years ago, of course, winning the premiership with Melbourne here and the Norm Smith medal. Not today, though. Fremantle by 26 at quarter time, by 20 at half time, by 40 at three-quarter time. And they continue to run away with it, although Noble here will set up Petrarca and he will have a set shot.
Well, just for the record books, they need a goal. Right now, it's the second lowest score ever. 26 is the next, so that's the one he wants to knock off. That was against the Giants.
So Petrarca for his first goal of the evening. And even he's missing what usually is elementary for him. Suns' last win was against Port Adelaide in Darwin back on the 15th of May. So it's been 6 weeks without a win. And they haven't suffered 5 consecutive losses since 2019.
Yeah, they've got some work to do. They've got the Pies next week. They're back home. 3 of their last 8 games will be on their home deck, but they've got some work in front of them.
They work at a stoppage from Freo. Darcy Reid particularly getting involved. Erasmus.
That's a good kick.
Switch it up to O'Driscoll.
He's going to take more forward momentum, but he went sideways.
Erasmus worked hard through the middle. Sarong. Erasmus again. Third possession in this little chain as he gets it to Ryan, who's creeping forward. And chip it inside 50, and it's opening up now. Voss on the lead.
Well, Brad Johnson will be up in arms on first crack tonight because players went straight through the protected zone and not awarded. And I would suggest to all umpires, don't be watching Brad tonight. He's in a very, very nasty mood.
Got him in the crosshairs, doesn't he?
He has.
Sure.
He has.
Luke Ryan will be filthy at that because he hasn't kicked a goal in 7 years. And it would have taken him right to the line. He's shared it with Patrick Voss. Day before his birthday. He loves to celebrate, and he'll be doing a bit more of that. A point to the crowd, another goal to the tally, and a big win coming up for the top of the table, Fremantle.
Well, it's been a pretty rounded performance. Still got 5.5 to play. They've done this consistently, as you have a look at it on the Harvey Norman replay. The ability initially to switch the football, change the angles. I'm speaking about their pressure, but then you can't take away just the genuine work rate. Ryan started near that initial switch. You put your head up and say, how is he all by himself? Well, he's run the far wing. That's how he's done that. And then it forces Collins to come up to the football. Then you're a defender short behind the football and asking Ewell to try and play on Voss. Wasn't able to close that distance in time. And the pony points.
He's been a fantastic asset. Not sure how old he is, perhaps. Birthday tomorrow.
Oh, what about that from Murphy Reid? Spun once, twice, got the hands off. Darcy involved, now Brayshaw delivering. Collins goes at it with both hands. Ricochets all the way back to Holman. Jepson. And on the end of a long lead is Long.
23 tomorrow, Patrick Voss.
I was thinking more horseshoes.
Jeffrey. Noble. Just the 2 goals still. And he was trying to get it to King, but O'Driscoll got on his bike. Plugged the hole.
He's so great, O'Driscoll, early in the game. You really like him, Jared.
Oh, he's a player I've watched a lot. He had some injuries. He was in and out of the side for a period of time. Been around the clock for a fair while now, but he's got a spot in this side. And just coming back with the flight of the ball there, he reads it well.
Ben King with just 5 goals in his history against Fremantle from his 5 games. So Goalless against in the elimination final last year. He's just got one here today. So it's a team he's struggled against. Leading the Common with 43. Moyle just thumps it. A loose ball. Anderson. Noble. Out in front of Lombard. Well done by Driscoll.
Yep.
Swatted it away. Just as you said, Jared, and Erasmus. Johnson has to wait for the bounce. Tries to tap it to his own advantage. And World Cup style goes off the turf.
Kept his feet.
Ball in dispute.
If I was going to play highlights tonight, Freo, a lot of them would be full defenders coming forward and spoiling where the Gold Coast Suns forwards have just been on their heels. It's been a tremendous example of modern football and modern defence.
Jared, that is outstanding news. Highlight package of sport.
Yeah, no, it's got to do it. I'm pushing it up there for the crack boys.
Thank you.
So we always push the agenda of the defenders.
Yep.
There's a free kick going here. Of course, the golden fist always features on bounce.
I saw Harris Andrews giving us the double cobra for a spoil on the boundary line, on the goal line. I think that could take off.
If you read into the pocket, Darcy. Fans, Powell was wrapped up.
Just to put that in perspective, it is a lot easier to punch a ball away than it is to mark it.
You are underestimating the skills of the defenders, Bill.
Age-old debaters. Holman, Anderson, the advantage went their way, and then the handle backwards put them under pressure. Murray, chipping ball out wide. And sit up for Bodie Hewland. 2-on-2 up the field. Brendan Cox again coming forward to attack and spoil after leaving his man. He didn't quite clear the area. The pressure continues. Lombard harassed by Driscoll. They get back onto it. And the Suns build inside 50. Spills to the side of the pack. King with a chance to Holman. They just got to work the numbers over the top for Walter. The goals have been so hard to come by for the Suns. And they get their third of the game with just 3 minutes remaining in the match.
Well, Jared, that's the 47th occasion that the Suns have left their D50 and just the 5th time they've got it to the other end of the ground.
Well,
they have kicked 2 goals while doing it.
A lot of it's to do with Leo Lombard on that occasion. And this young bloke, he had a header and then he had one off the foot in the one passage of play. There it is. He has been inspired by the World Cup.
It has been one of the shining lights.
Yep.
He's Leo Lombard. He's had the 19 disposals, but it's probably been the way that he's worked.
He's a beauty. He's one of the shining lights, as you said. And hopefully in the next 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, he's playing finals footy. Because right now, there are no guarantees with the Suns. They've got so much work to do.
Wits to Anderson. Steaming forward. It was a tumbler, a wobbler of a footy. Cox with the numbers to Chapman. Short to Bolton. Possession number 26 for Shea Bolton.
Got numbers on the far side again, Cal.
It is incredible, though, when you consider the first final last year, the crossroads both these clubs are at and where they're at right now.
McVee takes on Miller. Breaks away from Miller. Has another bounce. Goes long. It's famous.
That's what he's capable of doing. He's been there nearly 3 or 4 times today and he's nailed it. That is a great one. McVee coming to the party as well. He's handpicked by the recruiting staff from Melbourne. Another runner off the half back line. But gee, that grab there, Dale, that just really does get you excited.
2 behinds this afternoon.
Are they going to review this?
They're going to review this.
Yeah. It wasn't, he didn't hit it flush.
Yeah, still got some work to do on that kick.
So we'll see how this goes on the review, whether we can work out what side of the post it's on. I don't think those angles are going to give us much more clarity.
Softball was a goal.
Well, by the action of the players, perhaps, they weren't convinced. I reckon they're the truth serum. They'll tell you what it is or not, but they weren't convinced. Otherwise, there would have been more of a celebration.
They're very happy the soft goal's a goal. Crypto's happy.
Even the goal umpire thought it was...
Review complete. Looking at these angles, there is insufficient evidence to determine where the ball crossed the scoring line. Decision on scoreboard?
You don't say.
Been a while coming for Jai Amos, but he's got one. He's on the board.
Well, probably deserved a goal by the build-up from Judd, and then also the fantastic mark that you touched on, Jared. A bit not quite so convincing, so still some work to do. Speaking about that, so the 11 goals, 14.
Let's just enjoy this mark again.
But this is also why they got this guy at the footy club.
No doubt.
It's a good chase. It's an honest chase. I just thought, I'm just going to keep going. Have my third or fourth bounce.
Oh, that's a ripper. Put his hands over the front. I think he's from the footy factory at Geraldton too, boys, isn't he?
Judd McVie is, but Jai Abbas is a Busselton boy.
Yeah, no, Judd McVie's the one I'm after.
We're back in the middle of the grounds. 1:45 remaining. There's Darcy. Good landing. Brayshaw will get the clearance forward. Zeke Hewlett up to win it. Adenshaw under pressure. Brayshaw back in there again. Good run from Adenshaw to keep it knocking forward. Clark, Brayshaw. Push it here from Gold Coast. Adenshaw again. Run down.
That's fantastic leadership.
With 1:20 remaining, when you're up by 51 points, they are relentless. A chance to win it here. Clark falling on top. Just got it out. Witts. Anderson. Hands it back through. Miller. Over the top to Petrarca. A chance to get out the back here. The Suns. A bouncing footy. Entry kick wasn't what it needed to be.
Once again, though, the defender leading the forward. It's been all day.
Brendan Cox. Warner. Try to take a couple on. It's going to be...
And his endeavours from the first quarter. It's nice for him to be rewarded late as well with an opportunity to get a late goal.
So his 20th disposal, which would be a high point in his short career so far.
He's one of the highlights of the year for the Suns. They're looking for some.
Chances that time expires. It's going to be Lombard. Not too much Suns fans to put on the highlight reel. It's a poor kick. We're landing short. The ball knocked away. It's been a powerful performance by Fremantle. They keep the Suns to just 3 goals as they record win number 14 in a row. And the Docker juggernaut rolls on. Impressive from start to finish by Fremantle, and with the Swans loss earlier this round, it means they're 2 games clear on top of the table.
A very impressive performance, a workmanlike performance from the first centre square. Ball up started by Fast Freddy with those first 3 goals as we head straight downstairs to Cat.
Yeah, I've got one of the stars of the show alongside me, Luke Jackson. Luke, congratulations, a great team win, and to keep the Gold Coast Suns to 29 points is pretty impressive too. How did you see the game?
Yeah, it was a great game. It was a real slug early, and I think the conditions played into that, but they're a great side. Gold Coast, they got some great players, especially in that midfield. I'm really happy with how we played out the game. We had some good chats at half-time and thought we really came out and played well.
What was said at half-time?
To be honest, I was zoning out a little bit at half-time, but I think we were overusing it quite a bit.
we're in our forward 50 and they were clearing it out pretty easy, so I think it was mostly around that.
Was last year's elimination final loss a bit of a driving force this week? You wanted to rewrite some wrongs today?
100%. I mean, that was in my mind all game. They got us by a point, I think, in the end at Optus, our home turf. And yeah, I love playing in front of the Freo family. I think they've really helped us this year, and glad we got one back on them.
Now good to see big Sean Darcy back today, and that goal in the third quarter, which every teammate got around him.
Yeah, Swaggy's worked so hard in rehab to get back to this moment, and yeah, it's good to see him draw a crowd up forward as well. He's a big man, big threat up there, so glad to see him hit the scoreboard.
Some media commentators this week were saying, you can't pick Darcy because he can't disrupt Luke Jackson's good form and his role, but it didn't seem to disrupt your role or your form today, although Sean was probably on managed minutes.
Yeah, I think he was on managed minutes, but no, it didn't disrupt anything at all. I still, got a lot of rack time in there, and I was able to damage up forward as well, but I'm still working on that side of my game, and yeah, it's one game back in together, so hopefully we can keep building, come towards finals.
What have you been working on? Because you've taken your game to another level we didn't think was possible this year. You've absolutely dominated as the number one ruckman. Is there anything different you've been doing to bring out the best in you?
Well, I think my aerial game I'm still working on. I think that's gone to another level, but Joel Corey, our midfield coach, has really helped me in getting to the right areas to win the ball and get the ball on the lead. And I was training as a midfielder in the pre-season. I feel like that's helped my game, having to play in the ruck this year. So I feel like my game's in a good area, but I've got so much growth, which is really exciting.
Fit and firing, you take on the Giants in Canberra next week. Any chance of a spell? Does your body need a rest? Are you keen to keep going?
That's the last thing I want. I love playing footy. I love playing at Freo, and I just want to keep it going, want to roll, but can't read into it too much, can you?
So if JL says to you, I think you need a rest, what are you going to say?
Absolutely not, mate. No way. I'll be there.
Well done. Enjoy this game.
Well, that was quote of the year, partner. Not the one about him playing every game this year. The one about we had a really good chat at half time. What did they say? I'm not quite sure. I normally zone out. That's an honest answer. That's what we love. But whatever he's doing, young fella, just keep doing it because it is a pleasure to watch.
I was pleased that he dismissed this rest nonsense. He's a kid. He's playing the best footy of his life. He doesn't want to rest. He's having a great time. Get out there.
It's an interesting conversation because there's no better time in your football journey when you have this amount of green.
Yeah.
You want to be there when you're winning. There's enough tough times.
He's not tired.
There's so many wins that it's almost not going to fit on your screen, but there's also the bigger thing at the end of the year. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. It may be taken out of the team.
So it's 14 wins in a row. It's the second longest streak by a non-Victorian side. Brisbane won the 20 games back in 01-02 is the longest. Okay. So it is quite extraordinary what they're putting together here, and it is their biggest ever win over the Gold Coast Suns. So
You should put that loss in round one into perspective. They were 8 goals up at quarter time.
That's true.
If they weren't that far in front, they probably win.
So they're happy with what they've done. Another good day's work. So we came in today maybe asking more questions about the Gold Coast Suns. We thought they could give them a real shake. So Lana says Freo's the best team by 2 games. Now the Gold Coast have found themselves off the back of the last month or so of footy about not winning, right in that bottleneck of teams trying to find a way, maybe wild card. And they've got a tough run home, so it's going to be intriguing, Jared.
They were in full spot a month ago.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But they were there without having beaten anyone. So now they've had to take on those that they aspire to beat in September, and they've been truly well short of the mark. I mean, a long way short of the mark.
So you don't subscribe to Luke Jackson being rested? Do you subscribe, Jared Healy, to the theory that they need to drop one before the finals?
No, I don't. I've heard those theories over the journey, and most of the time they're only said in hindsight.
No, you only say that if you do lose one. So that's the one we needed to lose.
8 games to go. Probably the most difficult, the most challenging is Swans at home.
Yeah, true, but they are on the cusp of history. They're not going to be flat at any stage. They are on the cusp of making history, and they'll remember in 82, was it? Not 82, whatever year it was that the Eagles won their first
At
92.
92. They won their first. I mean, watching that unfold when they flew back to Perth, it was just how good was that? And they know they're in the hunt for that feeling. So no, they won't be resting, and I don't think they need to drop one. Del, do you think they need to drop?
No, I don't believe in needing to lose one. As I just touched on, you only say that after you've lost one. And say that was the one we needed to lose to straighten up. They're playing brilliant football. It's just about staying on the right track, playing a good brand of football and consistency, and then also just managing the injuries.
Speaking of one they needed to lose, you think back to that moment in the elimination final last year.
Yeah.
In some ways, and then the players have spoken about how it has absolutely driven them through the pre-season, and they've matured as a group because they let that opportunity slip last year. So that fork in the road for these two clubs that have played tonight, that elimination final last year where the Suns were up and about and went on to play in the semi-final. Freo last year felt like they underachieved from the position they were in, and it's taken their hunger to another level.
That's a good point, Paps, and it's a point well made. And the reverse, I think, may well be true for the Suns. They've got ahead of themselves, let people go. They've made themselves younger, exposed themselves, and they are miles off where they'd expect to be right now.
As Freo heads through the bar, back to their change rooms. I think this is one of the really cool experiences.
As well designed.
One of the really unique things about Optus Stadium. Downstairs, get to walk through the crowd, particularly when you've won this amount of games in a row and everyone's loving you.
Has Alex Pearce made the pact not to cut his hair till they win the premiership?
Yeah, is that right? Okay.
I reckon Scully's in the editing booth putting together all those highlights for the defenders.
Certainly a feature of Fremantle tonight with the way they went about it. Comprehensive victory. And again, to hold a team to such a low score, you know their attacking ability, but their defensive capabilities immense so far this season, Fremantle. They continue to roll on, unbeaten since their first game. 14 wins in a row, 51-point win over the Gold Coast Suns.
All right, folks, there we go. The Dockers got the job done. 51 points, the margin here at Optus Stadium in Perth. 11-14-80, the Dockers. The Gold Coast Suns, 3-11-29. 51 points, the margin. Tell you what, it was a little bit of a slugfest in that final term. We thought it was going to open up a little bit, but there we go, 51 points, the margin. The Suns could only manage 1 goal, 3 in that final term. The Dockers, though, 3 goals, 2. And as they said, they're on the cusp of history. Can they win the first flag this year? The Dockers, I tell you what, they are the team to beat. They are the best performing side. That's about 14 in a row for the Dockers. The second biggest streak of wins outside of Victorian club. Of course, I was saying Brisbane got that job at 20. Can the Suns? Can the Dockers do it? Tell you what, you never know. I think the next four games they could probably do it. Fremantle Dockers have got the Giants next week, and then the Swans, and then a couple of easy run home. And of course, the Gold Coast Suns next week play at home against Collingwood. We're going to hope Collingwood win that game. Keep the Pies, my team, in the top 10. We're going to have a look at the live ladder in just a sec, and just have a look at the goal scorers in the game today. Frederick ended up just with the 4 goals. I think that was his best he's had. That's a PB. He's equalled his PB of 4. Tell you what, I was hoping he'd get another one because he's a pretty good player. Paddy Voss got 2. Lukey Jackson, he also got 2. Sean Darcy got 1. Brayshaw got 1. Jai Miss also a single for him as well. They are your Dockers goal scorers. And of course, let's now roll off all the Gold Coast Suns goal scorers. Jed Walter got 2. Ben King got 1. And that is it. 2 goal scorers. There we go. Tell you what. All right, let's have a look at the disposal getter. Noah Anderson. Well, at least they won something for the day, the Gold Coast Suns. Noah Anderson tops the table on the disposal count for the Gold Coast Suns, and the only player to top 30 disposals out on the ground. He had 32 touches 18 kicks, 14 marks, 8 tackles, 2 clearances, 8 clearances and 2 tackles from Noah Anderson. Well done. Andy Brayshaw had a cracking final term. He ended up with 29 after kicking 1 goal, 1. Murphy Reid with 28. Shai Bolton up there with 26. I tell you what, he's certainly become a really good player, a real team player. Has Shai Bolton? This is his first season of being a real team player and not a individual player out there for the Dockers. So all that being said, that helps bring the Dockers into contention. Ulan ended up with 24 there for the Suns. Jordan Clark 24, Carl Warner 23 for the Dockers, and Lukey Ryan ended up with 23 touches there. Who else we got there? O'Driscoll 22, Caleb Strong 20, McVee 20, and of course Ulan. I got that, didn't I? Ulan. Are they brothers? Zeki Ulan and Bodie Ulan. There we go. 2 Ulans for the Gold Coast Suns on 23. Matt Rowell just 23. He didn't do a great deal there for the Suns today. McAndrew ended up on 20 there for the Suns. Tuke Miller 18. Let's have a look. Petrarca ended up with 17 disposals there, 5 clearances for him. Luke Jackson, I tell you what, he's a star, isn't he? 15 disposals, 17 hitouts, 4 clearances, 2 goals. Yeah, tell you what, he'd fit in anyone's side. Him, a prancing pony, 12 touches, a little bit quiet. Wasn't too much prancing going on for him. Kicked 2 goals, 1 though. Josh Tracy, tell you what, it's always good to see when Freo win and Josh Tracy doesn't score a goal. That's good news for Freo. Got more tricks in the bag for them. He did have five kicks just for the one behind, 5 handballs as well for him. Jared Witts, the other big man for the Suns, 8 disposals, 1 kick, 7 handballs, 18 hitouts, 3 clearances for him. Let's just have a quick look at the live ladder. Let me just load that one up for you folks. And of course, for all the Freo fans out there, we should be super duper stoked and happy. There we go. They sit on the AFL ladder after round 16, 2 games clear of the Sydney Swans. They're sitting up there on 56 points. After playing 15 games, they've won 14, lost 1, 148.2 their percentage. So that's absolutely healthy as you can possibly want to be at this time of season. Sydney sitting second on 48 on 135, 12 wins, 3 losses. Hawthorn, a game and a half behind Sydney on 42. So you would think no matter what happens, Freo should wrap up either first or second on the ladder with about, I think it's about 8 games to come. Somewhere there, what are they, 14 points. That's 3.5 games. So you got pretty well 4 games lead over third. So Freo, you're going to get a home final. That is pretty much guaranteed. Don't worry about that. You're going to get home final. So make sure if you're a Freo fan, get in early. See if you can book your tickets for the first finals. That'll be all right. There we go. Geelong sitting 4th, Brisbane 5th, Adelaide 6th, Melbourne 7th, Western Bulldogs 8th, all on 36 points. So it's going to be a real hustle and bustle for who's going to get there. North Melbourne next on 9th position on 32, half a game clear of the mighty Magpies on 30. The Gold Coast Suns losing that game today. Will they sit outside the top 10? They're in 11th position on 28 points. So it's going to be a big game for Collingwood Gold Coast next week. Who wins that game will remain in or jump into the top 10. So I'm hoping that the Magpies, my team, will get up in that one. Carlton up to 12. St Kilda, the Giants, Port Adelaide 15, West Coast Eagles, Richmond, and of course Essendon sitting last on the ladder. But that was the tale of the story today, folks, where the Dockers just too good. I'll tell you what, their pressure was absolutely fantastic today. Their tackle count, I'll tell you what, it was a hot potato out there for the Suns when they got it. There was always Dockers pressure, perceived pressure around the ball for them. So it was absolutely a ring-a-ding-ding. Another game from the Fremantle Dockers. Can they keep the ball rolling? I'll tell you what, I think they can. They should get the job done, you would imagine, against the Giants. Look, I think that's in Canberra next week. Then they got Sydney. That'll be a good test. That'll be a very good test. But if there's happened to be one game they can lose, that's all right. They can lose one. And then I think they've got a couple of easy games coming up after that. I just can't remember whether it's West Coast Richmond or someone like that. Anyway, they're well on their way. All right, folks. Hey, we did have the poll. Who was going to win the game today in the live chat today? Well done to everyone. 93% did vote for the Fremantle Dockers. Just a 7% went for the Gold Coast Suns. So we got that one right again. Just letting you know the roundup. I was going to say, don't forget, football kicks off again next Thursday night. Of course, that's at GMHBA Stadium. Geelong versus Brisbane Lions. That's going to be a big game. Friday night football, Geelong. No, that's right. Geelong and Brisbane on Thursday. Friday night, Sydney versus the Western Bulldogs. And then a double header. You got West Coast Eagles taking on Adelaide. Next Saturday, Hawthorn taking on Melbourne. You got the Giants taking on the Dockers. That's at 1:35 p.m. Melbourne time. Yeah, that's at Manuka Oval up there in Canberra. That's an afternoon game, so you'll be able to have some lunch and listening on that game there. And of course, next week also, of course, at 4:15 p.m, Gold Coast Suns are taking on Collingwood up there at People's First Stadium. I'll see how I go, folks. I'll try and get the second half of both of those games done because they should be really good games. Of course, next Saturday night, Richmond Carlton. Next Sunday, just the two games, Essendon St Kilda, Port Adelaide, North Melbourne. I tell you what, they are some absolute ring-a-ding-dings games. Coming up next week, round 17, they're games you certainly don't want to miss out on listening in. Should be good. Just checking the results of round 16 this week. Now that round 16 has been all wrapped up and sealed and done, Brisbane had a victory over Sydney, 126-83. Hawthorn victory over the GWS Giants by 14 points there at the MCG. Carlton had a good win over West Coast Eagles, 117-64. The Magpies finally get back-to-back wins. Wins over, but it was just over Richmond, 106-72. Port Adelaide got the derby done over Adelaide, 97-71. North Melbourne was a little bit too close for comfort there today. They had a win over Essendon, 79-65, and of course rounded out the good week of football. Round 16 with the Dockers, 11-14-80, defeating the Suns by 51 points, 3-11-29. It was all classy acts out there by the Dockers today, and they got the job done absolutely brilliantly. All will be happy there, of course. Fans will be loving that over there. And as I said, folks, the second longest winning streak by a club outside of Victoria, 14 wins on the end now for the Dockers. Can they make it 15 next week? I think they can against the Giants. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll tune on in for that game next week, and I hope you join us here as well. Good to see Liam in the chat there. Cleveland was in the chat. Good. Well done, folks. Well done. Good to see you all there as well. Addis was there. Addis again. Vindog was there. Good on you. Thanks for dropping on in, Albert. Woofy was there also. But we'd like to... it's always good to have a bit of a chat when you're in the live chat. We're all footy fans here listening on into the football. So give your thoughts and your opinions and... let us know who you're barrack for, and we'll see how they go for the rest of the season. All right, folks, that's about all I got for this one. That's a wrap-up of round 16 AFL football action for 2026. The Dockers got it done. Now they sit 2 games clear on top of the ladder. I tell you what, there'll be no easing up from the Dockers. They know what it's all about after losing that vital final last year. They're in for the hunt this year for the Premiership Cup. I think... and there's no doubt about it, they are the team to beat. All their game is looking fantastic at the moment. Their defence, their attack, just their pressure acts, they just know how to do it at the moment. They got it all together really, really well. All right, folks, hey, that's all I got for this one. Thanks very much for tuning on in, listening on into the coverage. We always appreciate everyone dropping on in. You want to tune on in, as I said, next week, the footy all starts again. Next Thursday. Hey, Woofy, Sun season. I tell you what, I hope that continues for at least one more week when my team goes up to People First Stadium and plays the Gold Coast Suns next week. Of course, I go for the Magpies, and I tell you what, they're not going much good this year. Got injuries, so they're going to struggle, but I always like to see them win. but they always seem to find it tough going against the Gold Coast Suns up there at People's First Stadium. So there we go. Anyway, Dockers at home. I think Dockers are at Canberra next week and the Suns are at home next week for their 2 games. All right, folks. Hey, thanks all for tuning on again. But I'm going to head off for this one. As I said, thanks again. I hope you enjoyed this week's round of football. We'll do it all again starting next Thursday evening. That's all I've got for this one. So until next time, folks, ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game.